Hey crafty friends, this is Chelsea. Welcome to today's video. I have a problem. I have these super bright, really cute Easter photos from last year when we were dyeing eggs. And I love the bright colors. I'm a big fan of bright colors, but most of my Easter paper looks like this. This is the really cute honey bunny paper from this year from Close to My Heart, but the colors just don't really work with those really saturated tones that I have in my photos, and I could kind of edit them and make them a bit paler. But I thought instead I'm going to use cardstock for my layout. That way I can easily customize the colors for this page. And I decided to use the Honey Bunny digital collection. Now this is great because you can cut them out in any color that you want. You can even cut them out in pattern paper if that works for you. I'm using the layout piece on here for the background. And then I'm going to use this stamp, which is called Garden Eggs. And when I'm filming this, this is still available on the website if you want to grab one. Now, today's video is part of a collaboration with the creative design team because cardstock is on sale over at Close to My Heart this month, the Cardstock Carnival. I will have it linked down below. You can get solid color packs, you can get rainbow packs, different color families, all at a discount. Now, I've gone ahead and I've used Toffee for my background. Because Close to My Heart cardstock is double-sided, I use the light side as my base. Then I cut that overlay out of the dark side of Toffee. My big pink mat is from Rosy, and then all of my photos, I just gave them a really thin white mat. Usually what I do with that is I cut my mats in 4x6, 3x4, 3x3, whatever it is, and then I just trim down my photo just a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch. I also have a white rectangle there for my journaling. Now, while I was using my Cricut, I decided to use this title here. I cut it out of Lemonade, Lagoon, and then a white offset. It's an older title from one of the Close to My Heart original collections with Cricut, but it's also in Cricut Access. I went ahead and cut out my eggs from that stamp set. There is a thin cut that goes with the stamp set. So I decided to pull colors from my photo and just match up with my cardstock. And I think I got pretty close. Very recently, since Close to My Heart announced that they are closing down, I went through all of my cardstock, retired, super old, super recent, and I made myself a swatch book. I already had a few from a Close to My Heart swatch book, but a lot of them I did not have, so I actually printed them on my computer, so all the names are right on them, easy to reference, and it makes something like this, matching my cardstock to my photos, super easy. Now that I have my colors picked, I can kind of arrange my little cluster at the bottom. Now I knew I wanted most of my embellishing to be at the bottom of the page because I have that big heavy block of photos kind of in the middle, and I wanted something at the bottom to give it weight. Plus, if I'm going to have eggs kind of scattered along the ground, then it makes sense to have them at the bottom. I also cut these little like sprigs of grass. I just typed in grass into Cricut and I clicked on the purchased option so I could see what things I'd already purchased, and I found those in one of my Cricut collections, and they're the perfect little tuft of grass. I cut those out of Clover and Pear. Pear is a retired color, but it was a nice bright green that matched my photos. Now I'm using that same Garden Eggs stamp set, and I love that these perfectly match the little thin cut. They're really pretty with flowers and leaves, and I'm just going to go ahead and white emboss them onto this because I didn't want anything too heavy. I wanted it to kind of brighten everything up. So I'm going to use my anti-static pouch, pounce over top of them because I've been handling them. They probably have fingerprints all over them. And if you have your oils from your fingers on your cardstock, when you go to put your embossing powder on, it's going to stick to everything. So anti-static pouch first. I seasoned up my stamp set. Don't mind my nasty looking Versamark pad. I have no idea what happened. I added some refill to it and it like turned it yellow. So I don't know, maybe the refill went off or got old or something, but anyways, that's how it had ended up looking. It still works, so I'm still using it. It's just not very pretty. So I use a coffee filter to catch my powder, which really helps. I went ahead off camera, stamped the rest of these because half the time I have my head in the frame anyways, and then I heat set them. Heat embossing is such a classic stamping technique, and it's one that sometimes I forget to use. Now, if you love techniques, I think you'll really enjoy the Creative Design Team membership. We are open right now for registration until the 25th of March. We teach a weekly class, a weekly tip video, and there's monthly challenges. We have a great community over there, and we teach classes focused on techniques so you can use whatever products you like and still apply the techniques that we're teaching. I'm super happy with how these eggs came out. Embossing is just a classic, and it always turns out so good. I debated at this point what I should do, and I decided I'm going to add some inking. Now, you don't have to do this step. You could definitely leave it without, but I have all the ink colors that coordinate with the cardstock colors, so what I decided to do was just do some tone on tone, just to add some definition, because sometimes Cricut cuts and like flat images can end up looking a little bit flat, and I'm going to create some dimension just with ink. So I'm using some of my blending brushes here. I have them out on my desk in this nice tool holder. Makes it easy for me to grab them. I have quite a few different sizes. I keep them all together just by color. And because I use them mostly for dye inks, I just kind of switch them out. I use one for all the different oranges and one for all the different lighter greens, that kind of thing. You can see there that nice frame that it adds around the egg and just adds a little dimension. Now, I'm not doing just the eggs. I'm also going to do the title pieces. I will do the lemonade title piece for the happy. It's a little bit hard to see though. There's not a lot of contrast. This Lagoon one, you can definitely see the contrast. And I really love these little brushes. So this is the smallest size of brush I have. And I think if you like inking these smaller shapes, they are a must have, because I was able to get in kind of on the sides of these little sprigs of grass and stuff. And I found it put the ink on a little bit heavier, which means I didn't have to go over it as much as I did with some of the larger brushes. I will link all the different size of brushes that I use. I get all my brushes from Amazon, so I will leave those down in the description box for you. Now I'm going on to my background. I decided it needed some ink around the outside edge too. I left the middle alone, but I'm using the Toffee ink here, and my ink pad was a little bit drier, so I had to go back a few times and get more ink. I attached my photos to the Rosy cardstock. I have not attached the journaling card yet because I think I might want to do some stamping on it, and it's just easier if I don't attach it yet. Now I'm going to just move this up a little bit. I want to make sure I have enough room for my title, but I don't want it to be too high because I think I'll probably want to add some embellishment at the top as well. So now it's a matter of just tucking these eggs in. I kind of want to layer the grass together with the two different shades and also kind of nestle the eggs in there. I kind of want this whole thing to feel like one scene that goes right across the bottom of the page. I thought about adding a bunny to this bottom section here too, because there is a cute one in the digital collection for Honey Bunny, but I decided just to keep it with the eggs and the grass, and I thought that was full enough. Now, just a quick reminder, if you have digital collections, you need to log into your account on your maker's website. You need to click on account and then click on digital library, and you need to download all of your collections and make sure you save them. I just recently went through and made sure I saved them all because our websites are going away as of April 30th. So I just want to make sure you remember to go and do that. I don't want you to lose any of those SVGs, especially if you have not uploaded them yet to Cricut Design Space. Now I basically have all the pieces where I want them to go. I'm going to save you the tedious part of gluing everything down. I did use my Barely Art glue to attach everything because it's really detailed. And then I went ahead and did some stamping on my little card here. I used these lines from Setting the Scene. I love these journaling lines. I stamped them in Toffee, and then I also stamped the sentiment from the Remember This Moment set. This one is great for scrapbooking. There's so many good sentiments for your pages and little things that you can add. I also used the new Decorative Shapes dies to cut some banners. I love the little stitching details on here. I inked those with the coordinating ink. I love how there are 3 different sizes that you can all layer together or use separately. I also cut the scallop square and this little pierced heart. I was going to say stitched heart, but it has little piercing details on it. And then I used the Your Extra Special from the stamp set, and I stamped with Toffee ink onto the yellow banner. I didn't want to do black because I thought it might stand out a little bit too much since I don't have black anywhere else, and it's just nice and subtle, but it's there. Now I'm going to layer these together. I do have tape runner on the back side of this big block of photos, but I didn't push it down. So it's all just kind of sitting there, and then I can really smooth it down once I get everything placed. I'm going to tuck this little square over here. I felt like I needed another point of embellishment, so I have my nice visual triangle. And then off camera, I decided to add some sparkles. Sparkles and bitty sparkles just to add a little extra twinkle to this page. I'm so happy I was able to scrapbook these super bright photos and I found the perfect color matches for it. Make sure you go and check out the Creative Design Team playlist here and see all the other cardstock creations that the girls came up with. And then also check out my video here showing another idea of what to do with all cardstock. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.